Big things happening, guys. A lady in a white coat, this person making check boxes, Mac getting a piece of paper, him slamming the door. Is this going to be a good thing or a bad thing? Let's find out. New box. Something strange is happening. The white-coated woman is back with other humans. They place a large box in the center of the ring. It's Ruby-sized. And suddenly I know why the woman is here. She's here to take Ruby away. What do you notice right there? Looks familiar, huh? Training. The woman leads Ruby to the box. She places an apple inside. Good girl, Ruby, she says kindly. Don't be afraid. Ruby inspects the box with her trunk. The woman makes a clicking noise with a little piece of metal she's holding in her hand. And then she gives Ruby a piece of a carrot. Each time Ruby touches the box, she gets a click and a treat. Why is she making that clicking noise? I asked Bob. Oh, they do it to dogs all the time, Bob says. Well, I can tell that Bob does not approve. It's called clicker training. They want Ruby to associate the noise with the treat. When she does something they want, they make the noise. Great job, Ruby, the woman says. You're a quick study. After many clicks and carrots, she takes Ruby back to her cage. Why is that lady giving me carrots when I touch the box, Ruby says. I think she wants you to go inside, I explain. But there's nothing inside, Ruby says, except an apple. Inside that box, I say, is the way out. Ruby tilts her head. I don't get it. See the picture of the red giraffe in the box? I think that lady is from the zoo, Ruby. I think she's getting ready to take you there. I wait for Ruby to trumpet with joy, but instead, she just stares at the box in silence. I'm not sure you understand. That box might be taking you to a place where there's other elephants, I say. A place with more room and humans who care about you. But even as I say these words, I remember with a shudder the last box that I was in. I don't want a zoo, Ruby says. I want you and Bob and Julia. This is my home. No, Ruby, I say. This is your prison. Poking and prodding. The lady comes again. She brings an animal doctor with an awful smell and a dangerous-looking bag. He spends one whole hour with Ruby, poking and prodding her. He looks at her eyes, her feet, her trunk, and when he's done with Ruby, he enters my cage. I wish I could hide under knot tag like Bob. Instead, I do a nice, loud chest beat, and after a moment, the doctor retreats. We're going to need to put this one under, he says. I'm not quite sure what he means, but I strut around my cage feeling very victorious anyway. No painting. No one asked me to paint today. No one asked Ruby to perform. There are no shows and no visitors unless you count those protesters. Mack stayed in his office all day. More boxes. I wake up from a long morning nap, and Bob is on my belly, but he isn't asleep. He's watching the ring where 4 men are placing a large metal box. It's me-sized. What's that, I ask, still blurry from sleep. Bob nuzzles my chin. I believe that box is for you, my friend. I'm not sure what that means. Me? They brought in a bunch of boxes while you were sleeping. Looks to me like they're taking the whole lot of you, he says, casually licking a paw. Even Thelma. Taking? I repeat. Taking us where? Well, some to the zoo, probably. Others to an animal shelter where humans will try to find them homes. Bob shakes himself. So I guess all good things must come to an end, huh? His voice is bright, but his eyes are far away and sad. I'm going to miss your stomach, big guy. Bob shuts his eyes, and he makes an odd noise in his throat. But what about you? I ask. I can't tell if Bob's just pretending to sleep, but he doesn't answer. I gaze at the huge shadowy box, and suddenly I understand how Ruby feels. I don't want to go into that box. in the box? My sister died. Goodbye. When George and Julia came that night, George doesn't get his mop or his broom. He gathers up his tools and belongings while Julia runs to my cage. This is my last night, Ivan, she says as she presses her palm to the glass. Mack fired my dad. Tears slip down her cheeks. But the zoo lady said maybe they'll have an opening there in a while, cleaning the cages and stuff. I walk to the glass that separates us. I put my hand where Julia's is. Palm to palm, finger to finger. My hand is bigger, but they're not so very different. I'm going to miss you, Julia says, and Ruby and Bob, but this is a good thing, really it is. You guys deserve a different life. I stare into her dark eyes and wish I had words for her. Sniffling, she goes to Ruby's cage. Have a good life, Ruby, she says. Ruby makes a little rumbling sound. She puts her trunk between the bars and touches Julia's shoulder. Where is Bob anyway? Julia looks around, under tables, in my cage, by the trash can. Dad, she calls. Have you seen Bob? Bob? No, George says. Julia's brows wrinkle. What's going to happen to him, Dad? What if Mack shuts down the whole mall? He says he's going to try to keep it open without the animals, George says. He stuffs his hands into his pockets. I'm worried about Bob too, but he's a survivor. You know what, Dad? Julia gets a gleam in her eye. Bob could live with us. Mom loves dogs, and he could keep her company, and... Jules, I'm not even sure I have a job yet. I may not even be able to feed you, let alone some mutt. My dog walking money. Sorry, Jules. Julia nods. I understand. She starts to leave, then runs back to my cage. I almost forgot. This is for you, Ivan. She slips a piece of paper into my cage. It's a drawing of Ruby and me. We're eating yogurt raisins. Ruby is playing with another baby elephant, and I'm holding hands with a lovely gorilla. She has red lips and a flower in her hair. I look as I always do in Julia's pictures, like an elegant fellow. But something is different about this drawing. In this picture, I'm smiling. Click. The door to my cage is propped open. I can't stop staring at it. My door? Open? The giant box has been moved, and it's open too. The humans have pushed it up against my doorway. If I walk through the door, I enter their box. The zoo lady, whose name is Maya, is here again. Click. Yogurt raisin. Click. Tiny marshmallow. Click. Ripe papaya. Click. Apple slice. Hour after hour, click after click. I look over at Ruby. She waits to see what I'll do. I touch the box. I sniff the dark interior where a ripe mango awaits. Click, click, click. I have to do it. Ruby is watching me from between the bars of her cages. And this is the box. This box is the way out. I step inside. An idea. After I leave the box and step back into my cage, I get a good idea. I tell Bob that he can sneak into my box with me and live at the zoo. Have you forgotten? I'm a wild beast, Ivan, he says, sniffing the floor for crumbs. I'm untamed, undaunted. Bob samples a piece of celery, spits it out. Besides, they notice. Humans are dumb, but they're not that dumb. Guys, there's 2 boxes. Well, it sounds like there's more that are there to take away the animals and put them at the zoo. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a great idea? Do you think it's a not so great idea, and why? I hope that they find happiness and they really do end up getting in the boxes and going to the zoo. All right, we'll see you next time.